Hello everyone, welcome to my The Way Home official channel. I hope everyone is having a great day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Let's just sum up after that finale by saying that it's a good thing The Way Home is returning for a second season. In the first season finale, Kat realized her younger brother Jacob had flown across the pond to visit her father's funeral during her last minutes on Earth. In the series finale, which took place in 1814, we discovered that Kat was the one who had been racing through the woods dressed in white, shortly after her mother Dell overheard her remark that she knew what had happened to him. She promised Jacob that she would return, and then she dove into the water. Alexandra Clark, Marnie Reed, and Heather Conkey, executive producers, analyze the climax and give a sneak peek at what's coming next. It was probably always intended to have that scenario from 1814 serve as the season's bookend. Alexandra Clark, without a doubt, yes. Did you always suspect it would be Kat? Have you thought of anyone else? No, it was always Kat, says Marnie Reed. We're aware that Kat is traveling back in time to 1814, and Season 2 will likely reveal what transpires before that point. However, since the pond is stated to transport people to their destinations, it shouldn't be necessary for her to travel through time, right? Considering that the pond would lead her there. Clark, the first thing we had to do was make these pond regulations. When we originally came up with this concept, Marley was the one who presented this amazing idea to the table, and when we were beginning to work out this first season, a show like this needs standards in order to be somewhat credible, and the minute you break those norms, you lose your audience. Time travel requires structure. Indeed, we will be significantly relying on those guidelines as we move into Season 2. We won't damage them in any way. Therefore, you can only get where you need to go with the pond. We typically explain that by saying that while the pond has its causes, it's not always the easiest of travels. It offers you an experience. It doesn't give you the solution right immediately, but when you look at the journeys that our characters take, you will see that every one of them teaches them something about the state of the world today and the other characters that inhabit it. Even when the character doesn't truly understand why they are there at the present, there was always a purpose for bringing them there. Each visit had a purpose. Could the journey have legs, going from one time to another and then returning to the present? Heather Conkey, saying that we won't constantly stick to one moment and the present is sufficient in my opinion. Clark, the second big issue is that there will always be that mystery that needs to be peeled back. Nothing is simple. We are a show that has unexpected turns, shocks, and surprises. That will undoubtedly not change throughout Season 2. How much of what transpired with Jacob and Colton were you aware of right away? The whole narrative, or just the conclusion you were hoping for in Season 1? Conkey, several of the story's elements simply broke apart once we reached the checkpoints that led us to the destinations we knew we had to go. We had to go back and change a few things in the early episodes to make it work really, very well, as we discovered while we were peeling back the onion during the writing process. However, for the most part, particularly in terms of the character arcs, we also have these intermediate goals in addition to our tent poles. Clark, the location of the Midway Carnival episode was always known to us. For our audience, that would be the moment when things truly started to change and the tone would change. It was kind of a nostalgic romp up until that point, which is great and what we intended to express. The 8-year-old goes missing in episode 6, which serves as a bit of a reality check. After that, the past no longer seems to be as bright and glorious as it once was. Even if the public may despise us for it, we knew that by the end we would be in this position. Conkey, we say in the room that time travel was first presented as a gift in the first few episodes of the show, but that it eventually turned into a curse in episode 6. With luck, we'll turn things around in Season 2. During the entire season, I kept an eye out for clues from Dell, suggesting that she must be aware of Alice's presence or be able to suspect something, and then we had the scene where they were by the pond. That still has me undecided. What then are you able to say? Clark, We may conclude that Del is a very secretive person. Seeing all the theories has been a lot of fun. This indicates that our work has been successful since it allows individuals to think and may provide an answer, but it also raises a great deal of additional concerns because it is so comparable to real life. That's how this show operates. Read. There's a lot more to say there with Del and Colton. Additionally, we intend to expand on both of their stories in upcoming seasons. But after that last scene in the present, it does appear that Alice and Kat will have to tell Del everything. What can you tell us about the upcoming conversation and the dynamics within the family? After all that has transpired, something needs to change. Clark. I believe that the moment at the table where Del has a chance to say, "You've opened up my world, you've allowed me to love again," comes before that one and is just as significant. She attended the grieving support group, but she now realizes that might not be the path she wants to follow. Although she is a very reserved person, at the conclusion of the first season, she is taking such a huge stride and opening up even to her family. Her relationship with Alice was a sign of things to come, but now she's eager to let Kat into her life. For Del, I believe that scene is crucial. This acceptance of individuals into her life, accepting hurt, loss, and blunders, is what will propel her into a second season. Indeed, Kat has made this groundbreaking remark that will usher in our second season. But regardless of Del's circumstances, at the beginning of the following season, we should concentrate on her current state of mind, whether or not this knowledge becomes available. Conky, without a doubt. Because of their amazing first kiss, Kat and Elliot must be discussed. In the season leading up to Elliot's choice to begin a new chapter in the finale, what actions did you wish to do with that relationship? Conky, definitely, it was a slow burn. Reed, we didn't want the burn to be so slow that it took 3 seasons to get there, the kiss. Clark, that would be inhumane. Conky, in episode 7, during their stroll down the waterfront, he says, "I've waited so long to kiss you, and when I do, it's one of my favorite scenes." Clark removes all of his spectacles. Conky, Evan is amazing at those moments when you fully anticipate something, and then he pulls it off with precision. Clark, to be honest, we were all rather amazed by that kiss. We were all surprised by how wonderful it came out. That day, Marley was on set, and to see the sunset. Reed, it was the busiest day of my life. Clark, Shyla and Evan are really amazing actors, and they grew close to one another while filming. It was so great when it really went off without a hitch, since so few things truly do work out when you're filming stuff. I think everyone was just waiting for that moment and ready for it. That one simply seemed so fated, so kismet-like, that it came to pass and was flawless. Was it correct to say that there were just 2 takes? Reed, we only had 2 takes left before the light went out. Because Elliot has loved Kat for so long, I believe we've always wanted Kat to initiate the moment. It was significant, in my opinion, that Kat pursued Elliot and made the decision to move forward with their relationship after he had loved her all of his life. Clark, it speaks a great deal about Elliot too. If you really think about it, he is arguably one of the more interesting characters in this program because, although he isn't a time traveler, he is aware of the concept, and it has had a significant impact on his life from the year 99 to the year 2023. In addition to being the gatekeeper, he also knows every secret. Speaking of the decision he makes at the end of episode 10, Alice's casual remarks in episode 2. "Well, no, you're just my science teacher, dude, you're not my dad," have caused him to feel as though he has been stuck in time. "No, my mom and my dad are getting divorced," was said thereafter. That's where he's coming from in that tragic moment, where he's been told his destiny and is stuck because of it until it's finished. We originally intended for the viewer to see that his voyage was a journey to Kat, since he had been waiting for his opportunity for so long, but if he truly gives it some thought, it's really a journey to freedom. It's a journey to take back control of his life and make decisions that weren't predetermined for him when he was younger. He must go past that. It is up to him, and her whether or not it leads him back to Kat. However, he hasn't had that much freedom since he was 16 years old. Elliot has that freedom, so who is he? Clark, it's a thoughtful question. We'll investigate. He will always be Elliot, and in my opinion, he is a very reflective and intelligent individual. Perhaps he believes that freedom can be one thing and something else, or the other way around. Or perhaps he will adore it. Of course, in Season 2, we'll go there. But discussing Elliot's definition of that freedom in the writer's room has been enjoyable. Read, he's going to give a few things a shot to see whether they suit him. Is there going to be more The Way Home Season 2 previews? We've already gotten a chance to watch a few on Hallmark Channel. Is there really anything here to get excited about? First of all, we would be a little taken aback if further information was provided during the course of the following week or two. After all, the holiday season is almost approaching, and this is not the time of year when a lot of things usually leak. Until then, we would suggest you to keep an eye out for more on The Way Home during the first or second week of January. This seems like the ideal moment to really get things up again before Chyla Leigh and the rest of the actors return. Tests, chaos, and time travel, of course, which has truly defined this show from the start, will abound in the second season. Along with maybe a few more intriguing future teasers, we'll find out more about what transpired with Jacob. Above all, we would just say this in general. If you liked the first season, we have every reason to think that something comparable is on the way. Let's hope that the creators get more opportunities to push the boundaries, especially because The Way Home has shown throughout the years that it can do it in a way that not many other Hallmark programs can. More information regarding the first episode is something else we're hoping for, albeit it's really basic right now. We anticipate a summary of the premiere sometime at the beginning of 2024. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss any updates.